So I don't know how this thing's gonna work, but at any rate, I'm gonna do it. Oh man, one thing I don't like is it's starting to rain just a little bit at the same time that it's sunny. Uh, this is the neighborhood where I live. I hope it's not gonna get. It's just little teeny drops here and there, but it's mainly sunny, which is pretty normal for Santiago, where it's kind of mainly sunny, but there's clouds. So the topic of this video is DR chicks and why they're so flaky. I think there's no one who will disagree with the fact that they're very flaky. I don't know exactly why. Um, well, this is one of those times where it's probably worth it to think about why they're so flaky. Uh, they're always, they make up excuses. Oh, I can't come, or blah, blah, blah. It's this kind of shit like that. And they don't show up. So obviously they're expecting other people in their environment to behave that way. And so, it's kind of, you have to get used to it. I mean, you have to expect that when I send off like an email, or not an email, but like if I get the number for maybe 3 or 4 chicks, I can expect that, maybe, I don't know, 2/3 of them are just gonna not even if they give me the WhatsApp, they're just gonna kind of blow you off, or just talk to you. I think part of it's an ego boost, that just the idea that, well, I'll get someone to talk to me and this means he likes me, and that's all I really wanted to do, was get somebody to pay some attention to me and kind of start talking with me. And okay, now I've got my ego boost. Well, I maybe I've already got a boyfriend, or maybe I am really not interested in a foreign guy, or maybe I don't want a foreign guy who's older, right? And don't get me wrong, it is true that you can get Dominican chicks who are 20 years younger than you. I've already done it. And so have many other people. So that's a fact. You definitely can. But this issue of I guess what it is in this environment, Dominican men are not that reliable, and so they're projecting that onto you, right? I've lived in other countries. I've lived in Colombia for not that long. I lived in Brazil, and for Brazil, I was there in 2001, 2002, part of 2003. I mean, a lot of time. This is back when people rarely did it. But I did. And I lived in China for a time. Recently, Colombia for 3 months. And the chicks in Colombia are not as flaky as the chicks in the Dominican Republic. Okay. So flakiness, I'm just referring to not showing up on dates, or, they start talking with you a little bit and then stop talking with you. It's kind of, and I'm not making this video after being snubbed or let go or rejected by a chick. It's just something that came to mind. I actually just recently went to a city, San Francisco de Macorís, and the chick there really wasn't for me. I mean, I just kind of, she wasn't really up my alley. And so I was like, no, okay, I'm not going to do that. But one thing, like, I've got this one chick I'm talking with here. She looks here in Santiago, and she looks real hot and all that. But she starts making up excuses. Oh, let's meet in 3 days, or let's meet in 4 days. Um, and it's kind of, you end up wasting some time, right? You end up wasting some time. So this comes into another question, and that is, should you, given the fact that some of these chicks, like I went to visit one way down in Mayor del Rey, and that girl that was a genuine waste of time. Not just because it's further away, but um, it is she was a real money grubber. I mean, at least with this one, I went down there and I was like, well, no, not quite what I'm looking for. But it was me who kind of said no. But this one in Hato Mayor del Rey, she was a money grubber and she wasn't really interested in me. I could tell that she was, maybe a little interested, but mainly no. It was the money, and I mean, you can just, the instincts, the body language, some of that you don't see until you meet the person in person. You need to meet the person face to face. And, even the video chats don't quite do it, because I had done some video chats with this chick, and it seemed okay, but I was always struggling with like video quality. Nothing to do with my technical skills or anything like that. It had to do with the network connections. I could kind of barely see her, and she'd go, she'd, are you there? There, it'd pause and the whole deal, and she was kind of putting on a show, I think. And so I'll give you a look around this little neighborhood while I talk here. So it brings up this other question of, should you go to these little cities just to meet some chick? Because it could be a real waste of time to go away running down there. It may be better to just kind of wait, right? Just be in whatever city you're going to be in, Puerto Plata or Santo Domingo or Santiago, whatever the city is, and then just kind of be patient and wait it out, as it were. And I tend to think that that's probably the better strategy, because Dominican chicks are flaky, right? You can never assume that, hey, this is someone who's genuinely interested in me, and it's worth spending the time to go meet them, that whole deal, when you've got to meet them in person, and you've got to see if they're even willing to get to the supermarket, or not supermarket, the shopping mall, or the coffee shop, or the little restaurant that where you want to meet them. You want to see that they're willing to do that at least the first time, right? At least to get to know them a little bit. And so I'm somewhat inclined to say that it's really probably better to just not take those trips to little cities trying to meet chicks, because quite frankly, Dominican women are too unpredictable, they're too unstable, and they don't themselves always, it's just too much of a, you can't really, it's too much of an investment to go running off to some other city. And now there are some exceptions. I don't want to go too far along those lines. If for example, La Vega, there's a city, La Vega, really close here. It's, maybe 30 minutes away. I could get there and get back. I don't have to have a hotel. Now that's an exception. That's okay. So you can see what's here. There's some sort of veterinarian or something. Oh, that's kind of weird. They had this kind of weird little things they do for animals there. Well, Let's go back up this way. Uh, so, yeah, I tend to think that. So, at any rate, another thing that you're gonna probably think is flaky. These chicks is you'll make a date with them or something, and they will say, oh yeah, right at the last minute they'll say something like, well, this is going to require taxi fare. I think I'm going to make a totally separate video on that issue of taxi fare and should you pay for them for their taxi to get to the place, because some of them asked for that. And at first I thought, well, this is just a con job. There's no way I'm going to do that. It's just kind of it's just ridiculous, right? Well, then I thought, hey, how are you? And then I thought, wait. After a little while, I started realizing that they actually don't have the money to get there, and they really actually do need the money to get to where they need to go to meet you. That's why I found here in the case of Santiago, there's one particular mall that's kind of closer to the chicks' neighborhood that's not very I guess you could say the ghettos, the parts of Santiago that are not that nice. It's called Colinas Mall, okay? And they never have to ask me for taxi cab fare to get there, because it's right on the stop for all these different places. But when I asked them to go to this other one called Plaza Internacional, that's an upscale mall, and it's not really on the kind of central byways that are targeted by these little. They have these little, I don't know what the fuck they're called. They're like little, not quite cabs, but they go by routes, and everyone gets in them, and everyone pays just a little bit, and so it's almost like a really good bus service. Anyway, long story short, they ask for the taxi cab ride to get to that mall, but they don't ask for it for this one to Colinas. So I think under certain circumstances, and you guys tell me in the comments, and again, this isn't one of those bullshit videos where people are saying, oh, comment, put it in the comment, that bullshit. Because they do that for the algorithms, right? So that you'll make the video more, what is it? Essentially, it shows user engagement, right? And the engagement algorithms will promote your video. But no, I know there's some of you on there that know more than I do about this very question, okay? Because I've only spent 3 months in the Dominican Republic. No, I'm sorry. I've spent about 4.5 months. In 2018, I came here for about a month, a little over, and I've been here for 3 months now. Now this place is much easier to live in than. Anyway, I don't want to get way down in the weeds or in a footnote. I know there's some of you that know more than me. Should you pay for taxi cab, their taxi to the place to meet you, or should you not do it? Should you just use that as a test to say, hey, is this girl full of baloney or not? Quite frankly, I'm kind of unsure on that one. So at any rate, I know there's some of you. I have a lot of experience living overseas. I've lived in China. I've lived in different parts of South America. And yo hablo español. Mi español no es perfecto, claro. Pero por lo general yo no tengo nada de problemas en contestar y hablar, entender y formar oraciones un poco complejos. But so there's no real problem in terms of communication and all that. But it's this issue of, well, see, all these chicks, they're in the Dominican Republic. I noticed that they Well, they want a lot of like little bits of money. It's like they're always playing the short game. They don't play the long game. They play the short game. I mean, much more than Colombian chicks. Every once in a while, yeah, Colombian chicks will flake out. I know they're a little flaky, but they're not as flaky as these Dominican chicks. They're like, oh yeah, I'll come. No, I won't. Or, oh, I can't come this time. Or maybe a little later. Or they, so tell me what you guys think. And okay, I'll talk to you later.